Good morning, everybody, and happy 2021 to all you ham radio operators. This is KB5MIQ Big Boy. Thought we'd make a little short rambling video, hit a couple of subjects here this morning. I guess by now everybody's seen the headlines that FCC is going to start charging us $35 for our license. Okay. Well, I don't agree with it. I don't know what we can do about it. GMRS got lowered from 70 to 35. So here's just my opinion on what happened. And I'm a retired gov imp, so I can talk about them. So that's how I feel about it. They probably put somebody at the FCC in charge of making that decision. That was probably on the younger side. Not knocking young people. There's some good ones out there. DLX, one of the good ones, works in the federal system. But there is some out there that get in positions that probably don't need to be in them. So they probably looked at it like this and said, okay, I got ham radio operators here paying nothing, and I got GMRS operators here paying 70. Let's cut theirs in half and egg it on them with 35, and they're all talking on the radio, so the same thing. Without ever checking what ham radio is, or even probably not even checking what GMRS is. My understanding, right, somebody feel free to correct me if I'm wrong, GMRS was set up for businesses. Businesses that require radio, that want to use a radio for their communications, that's fine. That's what it's set up for. They pay a fee, and they have to purchase their radios, and they're set in that frequency to use, and that's fine. That's part of business expense. That's doing business. Those guys are just conducting business, using radios to keep track of their employees. There's no procedural issues there. That's their business, and that's what they paid for. $70 for a 10-year license. To me, that's just something they should pass on to their customers. Now, the reason I say they don't know what ham radio is, I don't believe they'd have made that decision if they'd actually researched ham amateur radio. The amateur radio, like I've said at numerous times in these videos, was set aside to have a trained pool of emergency radio operators with their own equipment for use in national emergencies. That means we bear the expense of having our own gear ready to go at a moment's notice. We've all got our own radio gear. I think that's why radio gear, especially since the tube days, has been set with 12 volts. It makes them easier to use for portable use in emergencies. Like I said earlier video, I've done some emergency communications. Power was out in ice storm of 2000. I relayed messages for the fire department, jerked the battery out of a boat, jerked the 2 meter out of my truck, rigged the antenna up in the house where I could stay in the house, put the radio on low power, used it for 2 weeks. That was great, no problem at all. But I believe that's where they come up with that decision at. Somebody was tasked with making a decision that didn't take the time to research what both radio entities do. Whether we can do anything about it or not, who knows? Like I said before, I'm 61. I'm 61, about 2 weeks from being 62, and I renewed last year right after I turned 61. So at best, I got 2 renewals left in me. So I'm not too concerned about it. If I want to stay up ham, I'll pay the fee if I can afford it. I've seen a lot of posts, people saying, I ain't going to pay the fee and I'm staying on air. Don't do that. Don't do that. We've got to keep this hobby going. This service, I call it a hobby. Everybody refers to it as a hobby, but it's a service, and we've got to keep it going. Don't get on there without a license. Don't get on there and be disparaging about this. We're going to just live with it and go on. It's the federal government. Talking on the radio is not in the Bill of Rights. The FCC controls the radio spectrum, so that's where we're at. Ain't nothing else I really can say about it. I'll pay my license fee. I won't really like it, but I look at it like this. I've got several renewals and license changes in the past that ain't cost me nothing. And I'm not going to do a Vandy call sign. And unless I was to move, I'll have no reason to have any dealings with them until I turn 71 years old. So, and I'm not planning on moving. Anyway, enough about that. HKV brought up a good idea that we need to, especially new hams, look at kit building. I know kits aren't what they were up to, like when HKV was a teenager in the 70s. I know he built a Heathkit HW101 back in the day. And before that, he built, and I meant to get him to tell me the brand name of it, and he's told me, and I forgot, but he built a Crystal Control CW only transmitter that I believe will transmit in 40 and 80. He built it before he built his HW101, and he still got it. He doesn't have the 101 anymore, but he's still got that radio, and he's in the process of refurbishing it and trying to get it back on air. I've never built a true radio kit. Have I done some building? Yes, I have. I've built, switch panels with LED control lights in it for friends of mine to use on ATVs, UTVs. One of the earlier videos, I built a control box for a siren system for a PV big boy system for my Air Force Reserve Squadron before I retired. So I've done a little building like that. I have never sat down and built a radio kit, but I looked at some online this morning. MFJ's got a lot of kits. They got a lot of kits. MTC has a few radio kits. Main Training Company out of Paris. It's another good company you might want to look into. There's other things out there, all kinds of kits. Just do a search on electronic kits, radio kits, and try your hand at building one. It doesn't take an expensive soldering iron, just a good pencil tip soldering iron. You don't want to use one of them big old gun type that's got the wide blade. You just want a pencil tip soldering iron. Get you some rosin core solder. Don't use acid core, because that's will eat up your electronics. And take your time to learn how to build one. I may get one here in the future, and we'll do a video watch on me building one if I figure out somebody to help me video it while I'm doing it. But it'd be an interesting deal to find out. I really seriously may try to build my hand at building one. Might even be able to try another way to get my grandkids in here. I can't get them in here over yet. Today I read is Kids on the Air Day. I ain't had a chance to get on the air yet today. I'm gonna try to. If you talk to a young person on the air, encourage them. Encourage them to get in this hobby. Really do. We need more young people on it. We don't need to run anybody else off this hobby at all. We sure don't. Let's see, there's something else I was going to cover. I've forgotten about it now. I noticed the HamCom in Dallas has gone away. COVID's killing a lot of our gatherings off. I hate that. I really look forward to going to those. I hope Mena, Arkansas has their annual ham day in the fall this year. They cancel it last year due to COVID. I hope they have it again this year. That's a lot of good fun to go to. And maybe Texarkana Club will start one of their swap meets back up as soon as we get out from under this umbrella of COVID. All right, let's see. Something else I can think of. Appreciate everybody who subscribed to the channel. We hit 119 subscribers. If anybody can help me out with something, DLX trying to help me out, and I can't figure it out. I need to figure out a way to put a thumbnail on these videos so YouTube don't pick the thumbnail of me picking my nose or scratching my head or something like's happened in a couple of my videos. I do not understand how they come up with that. That last ham video I posted about licenses, I was scratching my nose 3 minutes into the video, and that's the thumbnail YouTube picked out for it. But I cannot for the life of me figure out how to do it. So if anybody's got any YouTube tips, I'd really appreciate it, because I enjoy doing these videos. Trying to help promote this hobby as much as I can. If you got a young person asking questions, try to give them good, civil, honest answers. Don't give them a disparaging answer. And if, like I said, we always say, if all a person can afford to bail fund, get them on there. I mean, they'll find a better radio later if they want one. I got two of them. I'm great. for what I use talkie for. I'm not big into talkies, not real big into 2 meters. I carried one on a trip yesterday, never turned it on. So anyway, appreciate all y'all subscribe to the channel. Hope everybody had a great 2021. Hope it's better than 2020 was. I hope to work some of y'all on the air. Remember, Monday, Tuesday, most Thursdays and Fridays, WD5HKV, W5DLX, and myself are somewhere around 28,450, 7:45 Central Standard Time, usually on there for 45 minutes or so. Just a roundtable discussion, not a formal net. But if we're not on 450 because somebody else has, just tune around there. We'll be in there somewhere pretty close. Check in with us. We do get some check-ins every now and then, and we really enjoy people checking in with us. All right, everybody have a great day. This is KB5 MIQ Big Boy 73.